Have you ever felt like growing your wealth is painfully slow? Well, what if I told you that your net worth doesn't just grow, it actually explodes once you hit $100,000? And it's not magic, it's actually math. And in this video, I'm going to be revealing the secret behind this tipping point and breaking down a really powerful formula that's going to allow you to be able to double your wealth and then also increase your income. And it's going to be a financial shortcut that every wealth builder should know. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right. So let's talk about this power of 100,000 and how even getting to that point can feel like a grind. And that is something incredible that happens when you're able to go ahead and cross that six-figure mark in your savings, right? So your money actually starts to work harder than you do. And it's all thanks to the power of compound interest. And essentially, the way it works is every dollar invested doesn't just grow, it grows on top of itself. And the more you're able to go ahead and invest, the faster it compounds. So it creates a snowball effect and also accelerates your wealth. And Albert Einstein is often credited in saying that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. And he who understands it will be able to earn it, and he who doesn't will end up paying for it. So that is why it's extremely important to understand this concept. And here's why $100,000 is so powerful. It's large enough to let the compound growth take over, turning your investments into a wealth generating machine. All right. So let me go ahead and break this down. I want to give you a couple of examples here and really make this practical for you. So imagine, let's say you invested $100,000 at an average rate of return of 7%. So let me share with you this illustration here. It's going to be powerful for you to be able to get this. But let's say you go ahead and you're able to do this now. All right, so you have this 100,000, and let's say it increases to, you have 100,000 here, and let's say the rate of return on this is going to be 7%. All right, so what that means essentially is in year one, for instance, that 100,000 is now going to grow to 100,700. All right. And that's just year one. And then in year two, guess what it's going to do? Right. It's going to continue to grow, and it's going to continue to grow over time. And now, let's say now this is earning and it's building compound interest on top of itself. So now it grows to, in year two, it grows to 100,014 and 490. All right. And by year 10, let's just skip to year 10. By year 10, this money actually doubles to now 196,715. Right. So literally almost doubles on top of itself without having to add a single extra dollar to it. So you see how quickly it actually snowballs, and that's the power of compound interest and action. So let's talk about a really powerful concept here of doubling your money, and it is called this. It's the rule of 72. All right. And the rule of 72 is literally a gateway to understanding how compound interest works. So here's how exactly it works. All right. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and take the number 72 and divide it by the annual rate of return. So 72, okay, you take that 72 and then you divide it by the annual rates of return. All right. And what happens is then you are able to identify what that amount of money is, or how many years it's going to take for that money to double. So, for example, let's say use the same exact formula I just shared with you, and let's say that you're earning 3% annually. Okay, so you're earning 3% annually. You have that 72 over here. Then guess what? That gives you 24 years that it's going to take for that same money to double, right? So that to be able to get, for the example, for the 1000, for instance, right? You have a 3% annual rate of return. That's going to be 24 years to be able to get to 2000, right? And another 24 years, then it's going to be 4000, right? So it's not very exciting, right? And that's why saving your money just in a savings account is not necessarily going to be enough to be able to exponentially increase your wealth. So one of the things that you need to understand is that most banks offer low interest rates. If you're able to even find a bank that offers 3%, that's phenomenal. But even at that rate, it's going to take 24 years for your money to double, right? So the lesson is you can't just save money to be able to invest. You have to be able to do some other things. So what do you want to do? So what do you want to do here now is you want to be able to flip the script on these, right? So now you want to, hypothetically speaking, let's say you were able to flip these numbers, right? Going back to the 72, you have the 72. Let's say you have a rate of return of 24%. Well, guess what? Now it's only going to take 3 years for that money to double. All right. And so let's say if we go ahead and write this all out. All right. So let's say year one, year three, year six, year nine, and we can keep going down to be able to do the math on this. But like I said, year one, you're going to be able to make 1K, right? Now year two, now you're at 2K. And you just keep going down the line here to see how it's going to grow. So year six is going to be 4K, 8K. Let's continue showing this 15, 18, 21. We have 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. Okay, so now year 12, it's going to grow to 16K. Year 15 is going to be 32K, 64K, right? 128K, 256K. Year 27 is going to be 512,000, right? And next is going to be over $1 million here, 1,024K. Next, 2,048K. And year 36 is going to be 4,096K. And that's the power of being able to understand this. Okay. So again, getting 24% annual rate of return every single month is difficult, right? It's not easy to do. I'm not telling that you can just put your money in the bank and be able to do that, but there are investment vehicles and opportunities to make that happen. Let's say you do get into options trading, or you trade commodities, or you have some more advanced investments to be able to make this. So that's the power of doing this. And it's really important to be able to get to a point where you're able to go ahead and have that, right? And here's the challenge. Most people don't understand these principles. The institutions use them against you while you park your money in a low interest account. So what you want to do is you want to continue becoming a perpetual learner, right? You want to continue learning the skills, the financial principles that's going to better equip you to be able to flip the script and make your money work for you, right? You want your money to be able to make money babies. All right. So remember, either your money works for you or it works for the system, and it's your choice. So you want to start off with some small steps. You want to find ways to be able to earn better rate of returns, right? So like I said, 24% is not very realistic for most people, but it's possible, right? But you want to at least start with getting a higher rate of return. Maybe it's 6%, maybe it's 12% annually. And then you want to continue to aim higher, right? So you want to explore advanced investment strategies and never stop learning. And legacy wealth isn't just built overnight, right? But with the rule of 72 and with the right mindset, you could actually create a future where your money works harder than you ever could. And that's really the key here. So below 100,000, growing your net worth is going to feel like a crawl, right? The returns are smaller. It's not a lot of places to be able to put your money is, and the progress is going to feel slow. But at six figures now, your compound interest pretty much does most of the heavy lifting for you. And that's why 100,000 is such a game changer. And when the math starts working in your favor. All right. So let me give you a couple of practical steps that you can do to be able to hit your first 100,000 in investment amounts that you can go ahead and begin investing into if you haven't gotten there yet. Right. So reaching 100,000 might seem tough, but it's 100% doable. So here's some practical things you could do. Number one, what you want to do is you want to automate. What I mean by automate. So you want to be able to automate your savings, for instance, right? So you want to set up automatic transfers to a dedicated savings account or an investment account. You want to treat it like a non-negotiable bill. And you could use some really powerful tools that are out there. There's Acorns, there's Robinhood to be able to invest spare change and build wealth effortlessly. Next thing you want to do is you want to maximize. So what do I mean by maximize? You want to max out your retirement account. So you have tax advantage retirement accounts. It's available to everyone. So you can go ahead and contribute to like a 401k, for instance, especially if your employer offers a match and that's going to be free money for you. Or what you could do is you could open up a Roth or traditional IRA for tax-free and tax-deferred growth as well. If you're self-employed, you can do what's called a solo 401k. If you're self-employed, don't have any employees, or you can also do what's called a SEP IRA as well to be able to begin saving aggressively. All right. So what else can you do? Next, you want to be able to cut. So when I say cut expenses, I mean the ones that are not necessarily increasing your wealth, right? You want to be able to cut expenses and invest the rest, right? So invest difference. So you want to be able to audit your spending. You want to look through and cancel any unused subscriptions. Maybe consider cooking more meals at the home. Shop smart with cashback apps if you have them. And every dollar saved is a dollar invested to be able to funnel into the savings into this portfolio. Okay. Another thing that you want to do is you want to be able to gain some skills and be able to start a side hustle. All right. So by being able to monetize things that you're already doing, maybe you're good at crafts, so you could sell crafts, you could teach skills, you can create a online course, you could be able to explore like gig kind of work, like doing Ubers and delivering groceries or freelancing. So all these different things are going to be able to help you be able to have more money to put into your savings and dedicate that, right? Another thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is that you're staying consistent, right? Consistency is key when it comes to this, all right? So you want to be consistent. So consistency is key. So you want to make sure that you stick to a budget. There's apps out there like Mint or YNAB, making tracking simple. And you want to be able to ignore the market noise, all right? So you want to invest on a continuous basis and you want to benefit from a concept called dollar cost averaging. So that is how that works, right? So you want to set specific goals like saving 1,500 monthly to be able to hit 100K in 5 years, right? And here's the truth. The first 100K is probably going to be the most challenging to hit first, but every step forward brings you closer to your financial goal. So now, once you're able to go ahead and do that, once you hit that 100K, now you can focus on scaling it. So now you want to be able to begin reinvesting every dollar that you have. All right. So you want to reinvest every dollar that you have. And it's not just about growing your wealth, it's about accelerating the wealth. And that's what the key thing is, right? And think of your net worth as a snowball. Every extra push makes it grow faster and bigger. All right, so building wealth is a marathon, right? And it's not a sprint, but crossing 100,000 is a tipping point where your money starts working as hard as you do. And if you go ahead and use the rules like Rule 72, you could be able to map out your financial future with confidence. And if you want to be able to save more money on taxes and increase your wealth, I recommend checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.